So, hello and welcome to this sacred space that we co create together as we bring our hearts together. Whether you are joining now on the live or if you are actually joining in and listening to the replay later, it's beautiful to come together with you here. And I'm so happy to be able to bring forth these messages. That the beings of absolute light are using this channeled oracle card reading as a vehicle for. And they were also very clear about the fact that these messages that they're bringing through are particularly talking about this time, this phase of the Ascension timeline that we are now in through the end of this year and through to February of next year. So that will be the focus in terms of the time period in the space-time continuum that we are existing in, that this reading relates to, they say. It's, as I said, an honor and a delight to be with you here. I do ask you if you would like to put your name in the chat to say hello. And if there's anything that particularly resonates with you or that you've also been sensing or experiencing or receiving as guidance for yourself, do feel free to share about that too, whether in the Facebook chat, as I'm doing this as a live on Facebook, or perhaps sharing later in the comments under the YouTube video. It's always great to connect and to hear from you. And so I'm going to go into the card reading with the cards being taken today from 3 decks. The Earth Magic deck by Stephen Farmer. The Kuan Yin Oracle by Alana Fairchild. And then The Secret Language of Light by Denise Jarvie. And they have selected 2 cards from each. And the first card that they wish me to share with you is this tsunami. Wake up call card. Sorry, I do believe it's reflecting the screen there to something. That's better, is it? You can hopefully see what that is about better. And so there's actually many levels that they want to communicate with us on with relation to this card. They say the first being, you can see the full moon here, and the full moon for me is really a time of releasing and of allowing that light energy of the full moon to flush out what is no longer serving, what is no longer needed. And that acts as a symbolic reference for how we are just flushing out at this time what is no longer in alignment with our highest service, our highest path, our highest relationship with self, our highest relationship with others, and so forth. And so they are saying that this time going forward for the next, that would be 3.5 months or so, is actually going to be a time of really bringing to our awareness the physical patterns, the patterns of interaction, the ways of being that are habitual for us, that are no longer serving, and just allowing these to be washed away as we turn the light of our consciousness on them and to them, and continue to do that once they have been brought to our attention. It will require, because they are, working on the level of the patterns that are really deeply ingrained within us, it will kind of require on our part to, keep noticing when we are going into that same pattern. And it can be something, that has served us really well in the past, but it doesn't fully honor who we are. And so it's now time to let it go. And that is going to be one of the main themes for this next period. They say this really letting go of that which is no longer in alignment with that higher frequency being that we are truly starting to not just like vibrate as, but to embody in physical. And so that is the first thing that they wish to say about this card. And the next thing that they are drawing my attention to is that when we look at the picture in this card, it seemingly there is, so much kind of a darker color and then just this lighter color, just this one line here. And they are saying that as way showers, as light workers, as people in the light community, we have been like dotted from place to place without such a sense of connection between us as such. Although we've been building that connection in the ethereal realms, it is really now time for us, they say, to create groups, to be part of groups, to just kind of put ourselves out there, put ourselves into action mode, to take the steps that are needed to just have a little bit more contact with other people from the light community. And we are really starting to create this very coherent like band of light around the planet, rather than being just these dotted pinpricks, is what they're saying. And that is partly because of the increased amount of people that are just coming into a greater understanding of who they are and remembering parts of self that they had just not had any contact with in this lifetime, and starting to have deep realizations and insights about a deeper truth beyond what they thought they were. And as more and more of us who are actively on this path start to increase, then that helps to create this real continuum of light. But also it's done by us like reaching out both our arms and connecting with others in the light community. So that is the wake up call for us as the light community at this time. They are saying here, the wording on the card, we have already had that call to wake up and to become aware that we are more than just what we would seem to be in this 3D, more than the physical vessel, the emotions, the thoughts. There is a greater dimension of our being as well. We've already kind of started, at least fairly far along for some, on our wake up journey in that sense. And now it is time for us to really like wake up and get into action with connecting with others within the light community, not only for our own benefit. It's not just so that we can be uplifted, it's so that we can more actively uplift the whole as we come together, and ideas for how we can be of service, joining together with others within the light community. will be coming forth as we start to really reach out and to connect with more others within the light community, they say. So if that applies to you, if you feel that kind of resonates with you, that has like a deep significance for you, then do, have a look out, see what is in your community. And if there isn't anything locally, there are certainly lots of online communities of light workers and way showers which you can join. And so that is what they wish to share for this card. And the next card that they took me to was this Gates of Heaven card. And this like very solid presence of the gate, again, they're going to talk about it on a couple of layers, but it really represents where we are at in our ascension timeline at this time. They are saying, first there are multiple just significant moments even within a day when like such huge amounts of light are pouring into the planet, creating this opening, this gateway for us to truly evolve into that next level of who we are here to be. And that is happening so constantly at this moment that it's a real solid presence within the reality, the timeline that we are living in, that it is possible to make that great quantum jump of evolution into a higher expression of our being. And there's so many more not exactly triggers, opportunities, I guess, for us to do that at this time. And they are being created by the fact that Gaia is truly just receiving so much high frequency light from divine source at this time. And so that's the first level that they want to speak about this. It's also like about how we at this time, we are actively choosing and in a sense walking through that gateway that we choose as to how we want to be and what we want to create going forward from here. We are moving into a time of much more rapid manifestation where things that we had never thought could be possible are going to be seen like on a daily basis. It's going to be like miracles are unfolding every day, they are saying, to those who are really choosing to be in alignment with the frequency of the new earth. There's going to be much more of a sense of the interdimensionality. So it's like the gate is there, but it's like blurred or transparent because so many of the other dimensions are starting to really intersect with this timeline that we are in. And so at the same time as there being a very clear gate, it's like that which has thus far been beyond the gate is coming into this realm and interacting with us in this realm, and that is going to create the potential for just so many more light infused miracles to be occurring in our everyday lives, both confirming the path that we are on, giving us clear guidance as to which is the correct path or choice for us, and opening up opportunities for us, bringing people together, bringing people to particular places at a particular time where there's someone that you need to meet and so forth. It's going to be so much more of this sense that, wow, like how did that happen? Like that just unfolded without me even like trying to make it happen. It was just an idea I had that something like this would be so wonderful, and then it was there. I'm going to have that sense of just seeing miracles blossom and bloom in our lives. And that's what they wish to share with this card, they say. And so next they want me to actually share around these two cards together. And the main, or one of the main features of each of them is a lotus, with this one being the shining lotus card, and this one lotus flower and unfoldment. And so this is the kind of beauty and the blossoming of the current unfolding that we are in. They are saying like these lotuses that we can see, which they're almost, especially in this card, it's kind of easier to sense it, but iridescent in the way that they just seem to hold a very still and serene and calm and light infused presence, and just radiate that energy out. And that is what we are now really growing into, a much more coherent embodiment of our light that can then really in a very gentle but very powerful way have an impact on the people around us, is what they're saying, as they feel that it's not so much what we're even doing or saying. They feel the difference in the energy field. And they are just bringing through some activations now. To support us in really being able to hold that field very coherently. I was actually showing you the lotus flower on the back of this one before, sorry, which is also just an incredibly beautiful image, but this is what they have given us to work with. And the other thing that they want to say to us with relation to this card is the importance of just letting ourselves be in our own energy and holding that as a very strong energy field, without letting the things that others bring into our awareness, whether that be as words or as actions, without letting them kind of like distract us from that peace and calm and that place where we are in that strong embodiment of the energy that we are. I know that can be a lot easier said than done, but that is what they are asking to us to really try to adhere to at this time, is to not allow the things that are around us to distract us from our focus, either on creating the world that we want to see and create for us and for others, or in holding that frequency of calm and serenity and peace and love. And in this card, they are just really drawing my attention to the blue first, and just reminding us again to keep speaking out our truth and to share with more and more people, because it is a time of awakening for many. And then, the beautiful sky here, which is just very prominent within this card. And asking us to it's like both in our thoughts and in our emotions to embody that higher, that stepped up level. Really being very present with ourselves so that we can observe when we start to, dip from that, and to consciously take the time to do what is required to bring us back again into that higher frequency of thought form or emotion. And that is what they wish to share for that card. And the next card they brought through is this healing card. And in terms of healing, they comment, that many of us, we have done a lot of our own personal healing on our own personal journey, bringing in healing not only for ourselves, but also for our ancestral lines, both back and forth. And so for us as such, healing, although there's still refinement to be done, we have done a large part of the healing that is required to allow us to express more light. And that is largely what they wished to just reaffirm for us with this card. They say this beautiful, there's a very centered core of light, and it just radiates out so brilliantly, so much more far-reaching than we imagine. And just very impactful in the world. They say we do not know the ripples our light creates, the influence it has on people around us, both near and far, like how much of a change maker our light is in our reality. And they want us to really be in the understanding of that, so that we really continue to hold that light and love frequency, aligning with those qualities of peace and of love and of light, knowing that they are the frequencies of the changes that are to come as we move into this more light embodied era of our human evolution. And the last card that they have brought through for me or for us today is this sensitivity card. And actually not the words they're saying, like this image with the rose, oops, here it really is a time of the rising of the divine feminine energy, and it is important for us to remember that and to explore, both as females and as males, what it means to get in touch with that divine feminine aspect of self. So just speaking from my own experience a little as well, and there may be more channel stuff that comes through, like when we are in the shadow feminine, we are very quick to judge. We often, we hate our own physicality. We think we're worthless. We don't have any value. We're trying to grab and to cling on to love because we don't love ourselves. So we're trying to get that love from outside ourselves. We're very competitive as a result because we think that we are in competition with every other person in the world to get that love because we aren't generating it within ourselves, and we are very judgmental of others, quick to notice their faults and to try to, probably subconsciously, but basically to elevate ourselves above them by kind of noticing and potentially pointing out certainly pointing out to ourselves, their faults. And there's all sorts of other aspects of the wounded feminine, I believe, but these are some, and kind of the solution to the majority of all the ones that I've just shared is to come into a genuine embodiment of self-acceptance and self-love. So accepting self in all the expressions of self, the parts of self that you would actually like to work on and would like to see a shift and a change in, whether that be in your physicality or your emotional or mental bodies, or there's, all of us have parts of ourselves that we still feel less delighted about than other parts of ourselves perhaps, but bringing love to the totality of self and the self with all the opposing parts, all the contradictions, all the juxtapositions. That's what really goes to make up who we are here in the human world. And as we start to really elevate into a place where we can be more loving and accepting towards ourselves, which then really does open the door for us to be more loving and accepting of others, you really must begin with an accepting of all parts of self, is what the beings of light would really like, beings of absolute light would really like to highlight about that. So that is another thing that they would ask us to really work on at this time, as well as previously mentioned. They spoke about, us really holding that light and the peace and the light and the love frequencies, and also it being a time of release. So to look at what is coming up and how we need to interact with that to be able to release it on a deeper level. And then also looking at the places they are saying where we are not truly loving self, whether that be in our attitude towards ourselves, our words about ourselves, our thoughts about ourselves, the way that we commonly express, what we allow also to be expressed to us in the actions and words of others. There's all kind of different aspects of this that we can look at, but they want us to really have a focus on embracing ourselves in our totality, and knowing that even in this totality of the human self, with the various contradictions that may be expressed in our personalities and so forth, we are still enough. We are enough love and energy and light presence to really create the shift that is needed. And what they are wanting to express more than anything, they are saying through this, is that they don't want us to be forever working on ourselves, feeling that we need to get to a better place and be somewhere where we are happier with ourselves, or where we feel that we have already worked on and elevated ourselves to such a state that we actually have no contradictions left within the human self. They're saying don't wait until we get there before we really start to share of the gifts that have been given with us to share with the collective. Like, we are enough as we are. We came to do this as humans, to elevate the frequency, to bring in greater amounts of love, light frequency as the human self. Of course, it's supported greatly by the higher dimensional beings and by divine source. But we also came here to be this role, and we are at a place, as we have done a lot of the healing work ourselves, where we are able to do that. We have mastered enough of the human, of who we are, to be able to express as just a beautiful and powerful waterfall of love and light in the expression of our gifts, even though we may, as our human self, not feel that we have done enough work on ourselves. We feel like we're not complete enough. But that is a fallacy. They want us to know a false belief that is holding many in the Lightworker community back from being in the expression of your gifts in service. So you are activating your gifts, you're receiving the guidance, you know what it is that is being asked of you. You can hear clearly, and you kind of have everything at your fingertips to go, and yet there's something that holds you back. And they really want us to look at where that is, where we are not just accepting that we are enough as we are, and we are enough for the role for which we came. Divine Source is both chose us for this role, as we also chose it for ourselves, and it's also like giving you the go ahead when your guides are giving you an inspired idea. Is because you are ready to at least take the first steps to bringing that into manifestation in the physical world. So they're kind of gently asking ourselves to get over ourselves a bit and allow ourselves to just be who we are and be in the expression of the love and light that we are as who we are as the human also. So I truly hope that this has been of support to you today, and that the messages have resonated, and that you've been able to receive the parts that were meant for you. It's beautiful as always to connect, as I say. Just actually, while I remember, there is actually, at the request of one of the circle members, actually I've brought through a beautiful end of year offer with the beings of absolute light, which we have already put into place. And I know there's like 5 years till the end of the year, and I was thinking to do it through December, but you know, we were ready early, and it seemed like it was the right timing, because as after we put the offer out there, then you know, a few people have stepped in, so thank you for that. And I truly hope that the guidance that has been sent to your inboxes, if you did purchase this, has been of great service to you. And basically you can choose, but it's a mini soul guidance session at what I hope is an extremely reasonable exchange of $33. And you can choose between like 3 pieces of guidance from your higher self, or a 1 card oracle card reading, and they are both highly personalized guidance to support you in aligning with whatever it is that your higher self wants to bring forth for you at this time, to help you create and manifest what your higher self wants to you to direct more of your attention towards, and so forth. And what has come through for people so far has been just very detailed, very concrete pieces of guidance from the higher self. So if that is something that you feel would be supportive for you at this time, I will put the link in the comments under the Facebook video, and also in the description box under the YouTube video, and do invite you to take a look at that if it is something that speaks to you. And then I look forward to connecting with you again next week. Much love and much light to all. Thank you so much for being here, and for just being so willing to be more of who you are, be all of who you are, and express as the love and the light that you are, as we are here uplifting the planet and humanity as our human selves. It's Julia from Transmissions of Light, and with much gratitude from my heart to yours. Thank you.